don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. I kept always 2 books in my pocket. One to read, one to write in. There is no duty we so much underrate as the duty of being happy. By being happy, we sow anonymous benefits upon the world. We are all travelers in the wilderness of this world, and the best we can find in our travels is an honest friend. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. You think those dogs will not be in heaven? I tell you they will be there, long before any of us. So long as we love, we serve. So long as we are loved by others, I would almost say that we are indispensable. And no man is useless while he has a friend. There are no foreign lands. It is the traveler only who is foreign. The cruelest lies are often told in silence. Quiet minds cannot be perplexed or frightened, but go on in fortune or misfortune at their own private pace, like a clock during a thunderstorm. If he be Mr. Hyde, he had thought, I shall be Mr. Seek. A friend is a gift you give yourself. If I am the chief of sinners, I am the chief of sufferers also. To be what we are, and to become what we are capable of becoming, is the only end of life. It is one thing to mortify curiosity, another to conquer it. The saints are the sinners who keep on trying. You can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. To know what you prefer, instead of humbly saying amen to what the world tells you, you ought to prefer, is to have kept your soul alive. Sir, with no intention to take offense, I deny your right to put words into my mouth. You must suffer me to go my own dark way. With every day, and from both sides of my intelligence, the moral and the intellectual, I thus drew steadily nearer to the truth, by whose partial discovery I have been doomed to such a dreadful shipwreck. That man is not truly one, but truly two. I learned to recognize the thorough and primitive duality of man. I saw that, of the two natures that contended in the field of my consciousness, even if I could rightly be said to be either, it was only because I was radically both. Wine is bottled poetry. There are two things that men should never weary of: goodness and humility. We get none too much of them in this rough world among cold, proud people. The difficulty of literature is not to write, but to write what you mean. Not to affect your reader, but to affect him precisely as you wish. Everyone, at some time or another, sits down to a banquet of consequences. You cannot run away from a weakness, you must sometimes fight it out or perish. And if that be so, why not now, and where you stand? I sat in the sun on a bench, the animal within me licking the chops of memory. The spiritual side a little drowsed, promising subsequent penitence, but not yet moved to begin. All human beings, as we meet them, are commingled out of good and evil. And Edward Hyde, alone, in the ranks of mankind, was pure evil. There comes an end to all things. The most capacious measure is filled at last. And this brief condescension to evil finally destroyed the balance of my soul. Our business in life is not to succeed, but to continue to fail in good spirits. The world is so full of a number of things, I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. You start a question, and it's like starting a stone. You sit quietly on the top of a hill, and away the stone goes, starting others. I regard you with an indifference, closely bordering on aversion. Make the most of the best, and the least of the worst. She had an evil face, smoothed by hypocrisy, but her manners were excellent. I wished a companion, to lie near me in the starlight, silent and not moving, but ever within touch. For there is a fellowship more quiet even than solitude, and which, rightly understood, is solitude made perfect. Everyday courage has few witnesses, but yours is no less noble, because no drum beats for you, and no crowds shout your name. Perpetual devotion to what a man calls his business is only to be sustained by perpetual neglect of many other things. Many's the long night I've dreamed of cheese, toasted mostly. I incline to Cain's heresy, he used to say quaintly. I let my brother go to the devil in his own way. It is not so much for its beauty that the forest makes a claim upon men's hearts, as for that subtle something, that quality of air, that emanation from old trees, that so wonderfully changes and renews a weary spirit. Books are good enough in their own way, but they are a mighty bloodless substitute for life. It is perhaps a more fortunate destiny to have a taste for collecting shells than to be born a millionaire. My devil had been long caged, he came out roaring. The person who has stopped being thankful has fallen asleep in life. Make up your mind to be happy. Learn to find pleasure in simple things. Politics is perhaps the only profession for which no preparation is thought necessary. There is nothing but God's grace. We walk upon it. We breathe it. We live and die by it. It makes the nails and axles of the universe. That man is a success who has lived well, laughed often and loved much. Compromise is the best and cheapest lawyer. Beware. If you cheat on your wife with a married woman, you will have an ambush awaiting you from two sides. To love is the great amulet that makes this world a garden. The secret to a happiness is a small ego and a big wallet. Good wine helps too. But that's not really a secret, is it? We must go on, because we can't turn back. I sometimes think, if we knew all, we should be more glad to get away. Good and evil are so close as to be chained together in the soul.